Same office.
Who's that?
Hello, 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 virtual world. We welcome you to the Chat virtual talk show, everyday conversations on real life issues. We are live and we thank you for tuning in on tonight. We just ask that you please share the broadcast, please like the broadcast, and please comment. We will see your comments and we can't approach every comment with an answer, but we will try our best on tonight. We thank you for tuning in. Our topic for tonight is building relationships and networking. How do I build relationships without people feeling like I'm using them? I'm Celeste, and our other host for tonight
is Barbara. Hello. Good evening.
I'm Dee. Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Katrina.
So we're just gonna jump right on in there. We also want to give a shout out to all the women for this is Women's History Month. So we just celebrating on today. We have some wonderful women that we celebrate that are on this panel on today that are have value in their own right in what they do because it is not easy what we do on an everyday basis. So again, we're taking you to our topic on tonight, and we're going to kick it off like this: networking and building relationships. Barb, when you hear the topic, what's one word that comes to mind?
So many words, but let me just say opportunity.
D, one word that comes to mind.
Mentorship.
Lady Katrina.
Growth.
There you go.
And I will say that my word is connection. If I had to use a word, connection. So, Barb, you said opportunity. Let's expound on that.
All right. I could go many ways, but let me just keep it short and say opportunity in that, you have your life trajectory, you're kind of moving along, you're going through your processes and working and all of that. And for me, having the opportunity to network and engage with other people who do different things that I might have never heard of before, meet people who can be mentors, who could be coaches, who can give me insights that I've never even considered. Also community, right? Opportunity to meet people who are like-minded and have done things that you may have done also, but also things that you might aspire to. And I loop back to, or things that you didn't know you could aspire to. And I'm going to pump that brake right there. Praise God. This is a very favorite topic of mine.
All right. We expect Barb to take the lead and the reins on this because this is her area of expertise. So we're learning, Barb. D, mentorship.
So I wasn't originally excited about this topic. I was a little nervous about this topic.
Really?
So I did some research. And one of the things I read up was about Ron Howard, the actor who starred on Happy Days. And Ron Howard wasn't exactly excited about acting. So after he left Andy Griffin's show, he went on to do Happy Days. And so he really didn't want to do Happy Days. He really wanted to be a director. And the only reason why he took the job at Happy Days is because he wanted to avoid being drafted during that time. But while he was there, he started to watch behind the scenes of directing. And so just so happened now I'm in my stage of life where I want to transition to do something else. And so I happen to reach out to someone. And the first thing I say is, I don't want you to give me a job, but I want to have a conversation with you on how you move from point A to point B. Can we have a conversation? Can you mentor me on what did you do to move from point A to point B? What organizations did you join? What type of conferences did you attend? What route did you take? So that's how I kind of see the whole networking. Show me the route that you took to get to where you are right now.
Right. That's good. And Katrina, you said growth.
So when it comes to networking, I would say growth because I have something that can help you grow, and you have something that can help me grow. If we put those two things together, we can expand into something great. So growth, being able to recognize another person's strength, being able to acknowledge that you may have a weakness, but this is the person or this is the connection that's going to help you expand to the best version of you, be it personal or work. And I think it's very important that we, utilize utilize networking as a growth tool as opposed to I just have to meet more people. Understand?
Right.
I like that. And I say connection because I think that that there's power in connection and that we have to create connections. I really hate the term networking. I have to say that. I lean more toward building relationships because I feel that we should focus on relationships with people and value people rather than networking. Understanding your value and what you bring into to the table and connecting with someone. And I like what Barb said when you talked about the shared interest. I think you need to connect and create connections based on shared interest. Bless you. Based on shared interest and goals. I think one of the issues that even in the work environment, even in ministry, we're told, oh, go in and network and we go to these conferences to network, to get something. But you pass out information like, oh, here's my phone number. It used to be, here's my card. I'm dating myself. Here's my card. But when you think about it, when someone gets your phone number, when someone gets your card, where is the connection? Right. You've networked, but where is the building of a relationship? And I think that's what's important is that I'm coming here and like you said, Katrina, it's growth, it's expanding. I'm getting something from you, you're getting something from me. And even from a biblical standpoint, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It's a mentality that we have as believers of generosity. I'm connecting with you because there's something that you have that I need, but I can't forget in this process that I have some value too. And that I have that you need.
Absolutely. And that's actually my perspective on it. I mean, I remember, I'm going to digress a little bit and I'm going to slow down. When I was a child, I was very shy. I'm still shy. No one believes me.
That's hard to believe.
No way.
I remember, I think it was like either third or fourth grade. And, you start in the first day of school and you have all those butterflies and that anxiety. And you felt it, but I got tired of feeling that way. I'm thinking, why am I so anxious? Like, I'm just sick of this feeling. I'm just going to go in here and whoever I see, I'm going to just be the first person to say, hi, I'm Barbara, just to break the ice, because once you start doing that, then all of that angst goes away, and then you recognize that other people are feeling the same way you do. And so it's like, okay, why go through all of that? And so that was kind of a breakthrough for me as a young child. And then having the opportunity to, have different types of career opportunities, getting to different spaces, being invited to different venues and events and just meeting people. Now, I wouldn't consider myself to be a professional networker, but there was in time where I had never really done it or never really mastered the art of it. And I want to meet people and just, have a good time. But I do understand that some folks are like, okay, I'm networking, I have a mission, and it's important to have a goal, but to also just kind of sit back and just let that experience happen because you might have a plan. God always has a better plan. And so just let nature take its course, So where was I going? So I want to bring it back to exactly what you were saying. We have value, right? We go into a space and sure, we may, want to go and learn something or meet someone, but we're also of value too. And we have something that's very valuable to give. And so that's how I take it. I go in, hey, how you doing? And hear about what they're doing and who they are. And then I offer up who I am. And I'm always someone who, oh, you're in education? Oh, you know what? I know Dr. Jones and she's, in Camden. You're trying to get in Camden? I can't promise you anything, but I can get you connected to her to talk, have a conversation. And she maybe can give you some pointers on how to become a principal in New Jersey. that type of thing. And I'm like, really? And that just, it opens so many doors,
Right.
Now, again, I recognize that some folks like myself are givers, and you have folks who are more not who give, but they're more takers. So you got to you can deal with all of that, and I try to. But I recognize that there are takers out there, and that can be a negative part of it. But if you keep yourself, again, trust God, and the rest will follow. Woo. I must say, if I had never stepped out on faith or let, in some ways, nature take its course when I'm like meeting people and interacting and giving myself, I find that I get tenfold back,
Awesome.
So amen to that. And I'm going to stop because I do love this topic. But I'm going to pass it over to Katrina because I feel she has something to share.
Goodness. Well, that means we have a connection. Awesome. So I wanted to say, I was never like a big, networking or, I don't even know what we really call it in ministry. I don't know. The meetups, and when it comes to like the corporate world, things like that, I'm probably going to go the opposite way. People assume I'm this social butterfly, but I have so many thoughts in my head and things I'm thinking about in projects. Is actually the reverse. I'm like trying to get to some quiet. You know what I mean? So I reach out to who I need to reach out to. But I found in making a diligent effort, that you got to be diligent and intentional about networking. I've noticed that, first of all, it is a God thing. In all things that we do, acknowledge him.
Right.
So even in this, acknowledging him, God, who do you want me to connect with? If you put him first, your connections will definitely follow to work out for your good. So I've seen that now, getting older. And also I stopped looking for me as far as networking. We sometimes, they got to be like me. Yes, we want to be like-minded. But there are some people that have truly blessed my life that they don't look like me. They didn't have some of the same interests, but they may have had a passion for something, and that passion turned into something that I think I want to be a part of. So you'd be surprised that sometimes I notice that a lot of events and actual titled social events or networking, it's like, I'm going to go meet up with all the other, I'm going to say all the other MSWs. But sometimes, a trauma therapist for children only, open up a doorway for you and cause you to grow once again. So those are the kind of things I look at now. Now I look for what's different. That's where I find where my growth is. I look for those different encounters, different age groups, somebody who is, a lot of times, you see like the younger people, they want to know about what's new, what's young, what's upcoming, but they need to seek out a connection with somebody with some wisdom. I will hang with the 60, they tease me all the time, 70-year-old. I'm content right there.
Yes.
Wisdom. That's wisdom.
I know I'm going to grow from them. From them. And sometimes people just, kind of disregard, they're just not like me. But I think getting out of that is really going to take you to higher heights.
Yes.
Right.
Amen.
And I think the truth of the matter is that, and you touched on this, Katrina, is that it has to be a godly connection. And when you think about it being a godly connection, you have to think about, well, what is God and what is success to us? So, because when you network, you're looking for advancement. Let's be honest. I'm networking because I'm trying to advance. I'm trying to connect so that I can advance in an area. But when it comes to the things of God, we are told to serve. I think that's what changes the dynamics. And like you said, Barb, you have to trust God. Not only do you have to trust God, but you have to be trustworthy.
That's right.
Amen.
And I say to people all the time, whether it's a friendship, whether it's ministry, whether it's the work environment, people want to work with people that they know and like and trust. Like and trust. And it's like, that's what makes ministry so difficult sometimes when you're in leadership, because we have to compel those that are unsaved to come to Christ. But you just can't say, here's a church card. Come on Sunday. That's it. It's like, oh, well, who are you?
Right.
I don't even know. I don't even know if I like you. I don't like your approach, you know? Yeah. So it's like after that, and the same thing with friendship. You know, I've had people, because I'm an outgoing person, I call myself an introvert extrovert because I am shy sometimes and people don't realize it. But I have my shy moments depending on, you know, the situation, especially when it's something new. And it's in those moments where I know that I have to, you know, connect with people, but I want to be authentic. You know, yes. I feel like I don't. First of all, I'm getting too. I can't put on airs. It's too much work. It's too much energy. So it's like, you know, you have to come with who God made you, and you have to come even with the mindset of who God made us. You know, we are called to serve. We're called to be generous, and all of those things are part of our advancement. That's godly success. That's how we get success. We don't do it by the world's way. And I just want to give one thing. It says a Harvard study had proven that professional networking actually makes people feel dirty and morally impure. I thought that was very interesting because people feel like part of this topic, you know, people can feel like you're using them. You know, you just want the information. And I've had a situation, I'm gonna say this one last thing, I'm gonna pass it along. I had a supervisor once that was always given to other departments, always using our budget money for other departments. And I was like, why is she, you know, we're already complaining about money for the budget already. So we get like these big pots of money at certain times of the year from a grant and give it to other departments, like give them money for professional development, things like that. She said in a meeting once, I'm giving them that money because my generosity to them gives me a voice.
Wow.
And I was like,
okay, that wasn't her money.
Yeah, but it's not just money.
You
but
get some. You get some.
The fact that you, like you said, you're giving something. I'm giving something. It's reciprocal. It's reciprocal. So it only makes sense. You know, treat people how you want to be treated. Give unto others as you have them give unto you. So when she said that, I was like kind of taken back. And then she began to elaborate, and she said no. She said even in when you're building just a friendship, you know, especially later on in life, because it's more difficult then, you got to bring something to the table of value. You know, you don't just go into a relationship just to take something away. You're like, okay, this person could help me in this area. Let me think, what's some ways that I could help Barb? I know she was trying, I know Dee's in the school system. Let me talk to some of my networks, and I could say, Dee, I want to introduce you to somebody. And while we at it, there are some things that I wanted to talk to you about. But see, it's reciprocal now.
That's right.
You know, it's not just me coming to the table to take.
That's right. That's right.
That's being mature.
Right. Yes. That's being mature. I also value you enough to not want to just take from you, but to give something to you. Matter of fact, I'm searching more to give you something than to take something from you.
And even with mentorship, as I was saying, like, you know, can you mentor me going forward? But even with that, I would say, is there a project that you can allow me to help you with? I have the gift of helps, and I have a lot of creativity and a lot of imagination. So would you mentor me? Is there something I can help you with that you're working on for your organization? That's reciprocal. You know, you're not just saying, you can mentor me, sure, you can help me move forward, but can I help you as well? Those both ways.
And people remember that. They remember. You know, sometimes people remember the people that constantly take, and they will remember the people that constantly give.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Because believe me, if you are a giver, there's going to be some takers nearby sniffing you out.
In packs.
Yes,
that's why relationship is so important. And y'all know I love a good Maya Angelou quote. It seemed like every chat
give
talk
us one.
show,
Give it to us. Give it to us.
I'm gonna give you this one. Maya Angelou said, "People will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel."
That's true.
Yeah.
That sums up the whole thing of building relationships and networking. You know, how are you making people feel?
Yeah.
Do they like you and they know you? Do they trust you after your encounter? Or or did you just do a one and done drive by and got what you needed and left? you know, like a bad relationship.
That's right.
But I'm gonna leave that there. Go ahead.
It's
Yeah.
true.
Like
It's true. I know. It's just
No,
like
but it's honest, and it does affect you, and it affects how people make you feel affects how you move forward. I mean, I've been in situations, I do different things, computer things, graphics, grants, all kinds of stuff. And it is some people that sometimes I'm like, I know what they want, but I just know how they make me feel after. First of all, I can be real. First of all, you asking me for a favor. Okay. So now I'm shaking my head. Okay. So you asked me for a favor, and you know that because you have access. So you have to be, really mindful of who we have access to.
That's right.
And are we valuing the access alone? So first of all, it's hard to get a hold of me sometimes, and you have access, and then it's like, oh well, I thought you could do more, or I thought you could do something different. Oh yes, they get real bold. They get real bold.
Wow.
So, and it makes you say like, sometimes I want to say, well, don't even tell nobody that you know me, okay?
Yeah.
Because then I have to kind of, you go and think about how that interaction made me feel.
Right.
So it's important. It's important. Even if you made a connection with someone, and you may say, it's not the connection that I thought it was going to be. Or, okay, being honest, no, I really can't use them in that area. I thought I could.
Yeah.
Instead of just throwing them away, show some gratitude.
Yeah. That's right.
Show some, you know what, you may not like the product or the service or to connect for work reasons, but you know what? I thank you for your time.
Yes.
I thank you for, having this conversation with me, just your gratitude alone.
Yes.
And you don't have to stay connected. That's the one thing about networking. This is not a forever thing sometimes. Some things are just for a season. I love Ecclesiastes. A time for this and a time for that. A time to embrace and a time not to.
Amen.
So that just goes to show us that, even the time that we think is wasted, it's not. That's because that season is over.
But it can be frustrating, right? You pour in time, energy, and it's like,
God uses everything.
For a purpose and for a season.
Yes, it does.
Like right.
We have some folks here. I see comments.
Fine when the season is up. We have to be fine with that.
Right.
I think that's the difficult part, is that especially as a believer, you feel like I have to hold on to that connection for dear life. And it's like, because that's the right thing. That's the right thing to do. That's the godly thing to do. But I think when you show value in people, just as you just cross their path, that's the blessing in it. Like, I was blessed to just cross your path.
Wow.
And I value you as a person. Go ahead, Barb. You look like you want to chime in.
Oh, I've been trying to be mindful and reading the comments. And
yes.
No, you're absolutely right. It's okay to say, you know what? Thank you. Just show appreciation, and pop, leave it there, leave it there.
Right.
To say, you know what? Thank you. Just show appreciation.
I want to throw a question out there.
What's that?
Listen to the audience. To the virtual land.
Okay. Let's interact.
Have you seen networking benefit you? Because some people, they truly haven't made a network connection, rather, that's, that they say, oh, this is beneficial. Have you actually seen it? Sometimes people are just waiting for that chance, waiting for that, I have a friend that I know, hopefully she's watching. Hello, out there. Met her 13 years ago, worked together. Oh, awesome. So absolutely. And we made a connection, it was great. Never thought that now, 2022, but I remembered her kindness. I remembered who she was. I remember her expertise.
Right.
And I called on her. I said, hey, listen, do you want to come work with me? And because of that networking thing, the owner of my company just trusted my judgment. He said, oh, if you think that she is good, she's in.
Right.
Actually, my friend, she bought a resume, presentation, all this stuff. And my boss said, well, why you have all that stuff? She said, because he was like, no, Katrina said, you're good. I was like,
Right.
that's a heavy weight.
Right.
That's a
Right.
heavy weight. But that's how powerful networking is. People, you know, you are connecting. Once you connect somebody, you know, they look to you as a resource. So it's something that, you know, we can't take lightly, you know, and I'm glad, Barb, that you're passionate about it. Because a long time ago, I really wasn't. But I now see the value in it, you know, and it's not using. I wanted her to get this opportunity. I'm glad that she was able to get in through me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because that just still, for me, that just gives the glory to God that, hey, this, you know, this is working for all of us. You know, not just I made this happen. I think when we attribute that and we shift that, it's like, you know, God, thank you for putting me in a place to be a connector. It makes a difference.
So and that's the biggest compliment you can give anybody, right? Like you're interacting with someone and they happen to have a need for something. Oh, I know this person, you know, let me connect you to them. And you do that and it happens. That's beautiful. You know, and then your friend says, "Hey, thank you for that recommendation."
Absolutely.
We have a contract. We have an agreement. Really? Okay.
Right. We had a couple of comments come in.
I'm sorry.
I don't want to interrupt you. We had a couple of comments come in when a question was asked, you know, is networking working for you? I don't know if any of you know Bridget McCrae, but she is the queen of networking. Minister Bridget McCrae. She's the head of No Longer Bound globally. Pink Girl. She has business on top of business. And she is one that networks. I've met a couple of people. Matter of fact, our admin, Minister Brenda, is through Minister Bridget. So she definitely is one that she pulls people together, and God bless her heart. May she never change, but she is definitely a go-to person. I've gone to her for people to preach, you know, and things like that. There's nothing that I've asked Minister Bridget that she didn't either give me an answer or lead me to someone that knew. And Minister Sue Mola just said, networking helped me to make connections, which provided resources to help me self-publish my story.
Wow.
Mola has a book called It's All Good. For those, and it helps to those that deal with addiction and things like that. And she said that networking has helped her put this book together and get it out there. So
is she in New Jersey? Is she in New Jersey? I'm actually on the mental health and drug and alcohol advisory board for Camden County, actually. And don't ask me how to get on that board.
I'm doing it. Y'all doing it right now.
Still get us those books. I would love to talk to that. Get us those books. How many copies you need, Bob? Because I'll get them from Sue. Like,
I know you will. I know you will.
Be continued. Yeah. But you know, it's a blessing to be able to do that. And you know, I always like to be in a position to just help people. And I think when all of us are in that position, and when you have a gift, like Dee, you said, you have the gifts of help. You know, that's your gift. You know, I think actually we all have that. I think that's why we get along. We have such cohesion together. That we all have the gift of helps. And you know, when you have the gift of helps, you always want to find a solution for people. So if that means connecting with someone else to get this, if I'm, like we said in the last chat, if I don't have the answer, I'll get you to someone who has the answer. So that's part of building relationships. That's part of networking. And that keeps you, you know, back in the day, they used to say you had that Rolodex of people that you could go through for whatever you needed. But now, you know, we have smartphones and things like that, where we have social media, where whatever we need, there's a network of folks that we can pull on to get those things going. But go ahead.
I'm noticing. Oh, go ahead, Dee.
Oh, no, I'm good.
Oh, okay. I'm noticing something now as we talk about this. I'm noticing that, first of all, ask and you shall receive, right?
Amen.
And I think that a lot of networking and people connecting, a lot of it is hindered because of fear. And I believe that, you know, the enemy wants us to be, oh, don't ask, or no, you know, they don't have time for you, or, you know, you're not, you know, at that level yet, or whatever. So I think fear definitely comes in and tries to hinder connections. You know, now you're doubting yourself. Now you're, you know, that's how, like, we were just right on here. We just encourage, you know, we're like, go ahead. Is it Sue that has the book? Go ahead. Connect with Barb. Ask her.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
we gotta push people. You know what I mean? Because there is no fear. You know, God did not give us a spirit of fear. So I just don't think. Just wanted to point that out. That could be very detrimental to a connection. Just not walking out on faith, not opening your mouth.
Right.
Absolutely.
And it can speak to what we talked about last month, right? The imposter syndrome. So you get into this space and you're like, oh my God, should I really be here? You know, amongst all these people. Absolutely. Because God said you belong there and you belong.
So I don't think it's using. I don't think it's using. I think, Celeste, you asked that earlier.
Right. That's what I was going to say.
Yes, I don't think it's using. I think we have to come out of that. And instead of thinking that we're using, you know, someone, we are growing each other. And that's it. You know what I mean? I can really only take what you give me. I can't, you know, take beyond that. So if you're not willing to give, I'm really not taking anything.
Right.
It's the intention of your heart, right? Like one, you can only control yourself and how you feel about a situation and people, you know, and opportunities. And if you're going in with that sense of, well, I want to, I want to receive, but I also want to give, then that's all you can do. But you can't control the person on the other end.
Right.
You know?
And it shows. You can tell when somebody walks into a situation just desperate, you know, and sometimes that's a turn off. You know, I've seen people and I'm like, man, you want to pull them aside so bad and say, if you just didn't look so desperate and you saw, going back to value again, if you just saw that, yes, you want to receive this, but you have something too.
Yeah.
You know, you have value, you know, and I think, you know, I like what you said, Katrina, like, you know, it's not about using somebody, but when you go in with that mentality, so a man thinketh, so is he. If I'm going into the situation and thinking, I need to get this, I need to get this, I need to get this, this is how I'm going to advance, I need to get this, I need to meet that person, I need to connect. You know how many times I've walked into a situation where people say, oh, you need to connect with so and so. And I didn't get, like you said, I didn't get anything out of it. And I was like, what are they talking about? Like, I mean, I felt like the person didn't, but then I realized that the connection was still needed. You know, I didn't get what I needed from the situation, especially with fashion. I run into people all the time, like, oh, Celeste, you know, you should connect with so and so. Let me introduce you to this one and that one. And I go, and sometimes I don't even like, especially in the fashion world, sometimes I don't like the people's attitudes.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a lot of ungodliness. I'm not even going to go into that. But, and I try to put certain things aside because I look past the surface of people. But at the same time, I know that as a believer, I can't connect with everybody. You know, and sometimes, you know, I've seen people and like we'll go into a networking event and they just look so desperate and just hungry. You know, and it's like, okay, calm down, get what you're going to get from the situation, but you have some value. You know, you're not nobody. That's what I meant to say. You're not a nobody. And somebody needs to hear that out there. Take the chance, have the faith to move forward. Don't so a man think, and so is he. You are great. You have value. You know, take the value that God has given you and go in with all you got. You know, ask God to, you know, sometimes you have to ask God to download, Lord, what can I bring to the situation? You know, I know you put me here for a reason. I know at this times I looked around the room, I'm like, why am I even here? But then God will make it clear before the end of the night. See, that was it. That was the connection.
They have that hustle mentality.
Minister Bridget said, and they have to have that hustle mentality. I love it. You know, and
some people are just waiting on you. You know, you'd be surprised. You know, you think that you have to make the connection. Sometimes they're waiting on you. You know, it's the complete opposite.
Right. Sometimes we can't move ahead because our mind is so gripped on you don't see yourself as anything. You don't see yourself as having anything. You don't even see, going back to imposter syndrome, you don't even see that you deserve anything.
Right.
So it's like, so there's times when people get promotions. There's times when people may get into relationships and they feel like, I can't even like sit at this table. Like, I feel like they speak better than me. They, you know, they articulate better than me. They do this better than me, they do that better than me. Yeah, but you're still needed there. You know, I sit in groups all the time where people from different countries and things like that, and we all have different we speak differently. You know, people say I have a New York accent. That's needed at that table. You know, I'm coming with something that no one else has, and then someone else from Italy, they're coming with something that I don't have, and I'm just gleaning from them.
Right.
You know,
what
but
I've learned, what I've learned though, with interacting with people, a lot of people have fear of rejection. They have so many past hurts and arrows and daggers on them that they've never healed from. And so when they're going into these places and spaces, they're going with these scars. And so a lot of them don't even want to make these connections for, all right, I'm about to get another no, I'm about to get another, she don't want to connect. And, you know, she's already looked me up and down and said, I don't qualify. So they have that fear of rejection. So that just stops them from going forward. So that's a blocker right there in itself.
Right.
So they don't even make it to the table. So but you have to sometimes just leap out on faith and just step out on faith. You know what? Block or unblock, fear or no fear. I'm just gonna go ahead and go forward in God and just see what He does.
And keep going and understand if I get that rejection. I mean, we all know this through our faith walk that the rejection doesn't stop the promise or your destination. You know, so it's like doesn't stop it. You know, I said to my church on Sunday, say with God, I'm unstoppable.
That's right.
You know, I'm unstoppable. You have to say this thing sometimes and rehearse it until you believe it yourself. You know, we all deal with anxiety sometimes. We all deal with being the elephant in the room, you know, so to speak. And it's like, you know, all eyes on me, and I feel like, you know, I'm what am I doing here? But at the same time, like we said the last time, if you're in the room, God puts you there, but now it's on you. He already put you there. Now it's on you. You have to do and use the tools that you've been given. And the greatest one that we have is faith. Faith to push past fear, you know, and we have to move past fear, and because fear will cripple you. Fear will help you, will have you miss out on opportunities. Fear will take what was a couple of day journey and make it 40 years. That's what fear does. Fear will make you want to go back to what's comfortable because you don't want to face anything new. And part of networking is you're stepping most of the time into a new environment. You know, like somebody that's doing marketing now. They've never done marketing before. Now they're part of some marketing association, and they have to show up at the Pyramid Club with everybody.
Yes.
You know, it's like, okay, I'm at the Pyramid Club. I just got this job. I don't know. I'm still in training, and they sent me here.
Come on, Horton, here's a who.
Hey, I'm here. Sometimes
that promise is only for Horton. That's right.
Just be there and enjoy the mint. Pyramid Club has some great mints. Just get the mints.
I gotta get there.
Oh, it's nice. It's nice.
Yeah, but you know, go ahead, D.
I said only people that either work in education or have kids know what I was talking about when I said Horton hears a who. Only Horton heard them little tiny voices. Nobody heard them. He was like, I gotta go save Whoville. Everybody thought he was crazy in the jungle, but guess what? She didn't laugh because she know.
Y'all took that lesson to heart. I'm listening.
See?
You learned something. Very simple, but you can learn something.
It was an elephant. He could hear. He spiritually heard. Nobody else could hear but him. And he had to move forward no matter how crazy he looked or sounded. But guess what? Horton the elephant saved them at the end because he heard. I'm telling you right there's a message.
I feel a little Horton in my heart. I feel him in my heart now.
It's overtime.
It will never be the same. That will never be the same.
Oh, wow.
Started.
From the community that's joined us tonight, what kind of questions do they have for us? Can we do that?
Yes. Come on now. Anybody have any more questions?
What are some types of environments that people are trying to get themselves in or deal with? Like what are they trying to achieve?
Right.
You know, some of those spaces that they're trying to get into.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. What is stopping you? What is
That's
standing
good.
in your way? Let us know. Let us know so we can deal with it on tonight.
And sometimes as we wait on a question, sometimes people are, fearful because they just don't have all the pieces or the finances. But if you make a good connection, a lot of times that stuff is covered. They're not even looking. They're not even, this is a tip for somebody. They're not even looking for your money.
Right.
So jump out there, whoever you are.
Yeah.
They're not even looking for your money.
And in the midst of all this pandemic, a lot of these events are now virtual. So you're just jumping right in.
Right. So the playing field is level.
It's level. It's different. I do like to be in the mix of people. I think it's a little different doing it through the virtual world.
Right.
But I'm adapting.
Just go ahead and start building the ark. Don't worry about
there we go.
Build that ark. Okay.
So Minister Bridget said, I'm breaking into digital marketing. Went back to school at 54. See, that's what I'm talking about.
Go. Yes.
That's right. You have to keep going. And what you don't have, sometimes you gotta cut and paste with your life. Sometimes you have to add on to what you know that you're missing. And I love that because it's never too late. I'm in school myself, and I expect in 2 years I'll have my master's in education.
Hey man.
Y'all said it here first. So no shame about getting married. But you have to keep going, because it can be frightening, like Dee said, it can be intimidating. But I look at it like this: if God, I was telling my husband the other day, I said, when you get to a certain age in life, you've done some things, you had some victories, you had some failures. You got to get to a point where you live, and if taking some extra things on, it's not going to kill you. Going back to school is not going to kill you. It's just going to add to you. There's going to be some study, there's going to be some late nights. You're probably going to be driving some people crazy around you and have a lot of Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts runs.
Yes.
But
be a little sleepy.
I look at it like this: life is short, and what we've seen in these last couple of years, take advantage, people of God, people of the world, take advantage of every opportunity that is in front of you. Why aren't you going back to school? Why aren't you going for that new job? Why aren't you joining that organization? Why aren't you getting a membership for that next conference?
Yes.
Don't let the money stop you. I heard my dad say years ago, if you let money stop you, you won't do anything. You have to invest in yourself. Even when I went back to school, I was like, my sons are in school. How am I going to go back to school while they're in school? I'm shutting out money for this, shutting out money for that. Even with tuition remission, and here it is, Lord willing, me and Josh are walking in May, and then I'm going straight to finish up the portion. But I got to keep going, and you have to live. And part of living is, continue to push yourself. You're living. You live to see another day. Continue to push yourself. You have nothing to lose. God has given you life, health, and strength. I was in the gym today, and this man was on the treadmill. He got out of a wheelchair to go through his physical therapy on the treadmill. I've never seen this in my life. I tell you, never seen this. But it so encouraged me. I said, "Look at him getting himself back together, going through PT on the treadmill."
Powerful.
And I complain about getting there.
Right.
It's like, this is the time to live. Living means doing all the things that you wanted to do. Don't let anything stop you. Don't let money stop you. There's so many grants out now for even women, for all kinds of people. All these grants and stuff are there. Take advantage of it. There's money on the table. Take advantage of it. I just see Pastor Alicia Cooper chimed in. Thank you so much. She said amazing progress. She's another person. Went back to back, got her MBA.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's never too late. And I don't want to center this just on education. There may be something else. Somebody may say, I always wanted to learn how to do a trade. Look, I want to know culinary arts. And you know what? I don't want it for a job. I just want to know. I just want to cook better. You know, I want to go to the Walnut Restaurant School or whatever in Philly because I saw a top chef. I just want to go and take some classes. I want to take some cake decorating classes.
Yeah.
Do all that is. I want to take some basket weaving, whatever.
There you go.
All the things you wanted to do, just do it. I love to go to
Don't
museums.
limit yourself. Don't limit yourself. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, find a time to take care of the things that enhance you, because part of enhancing you is, it may sound selfish to some people, but that's foolishness. That's immaturity. When you enhance you, you can enhance somebody else. If you're not together, if you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling lowly, you know that becomes contagious. But when you start doing things for yourself, you start feeling better about yourself.
That's right.
Absolutely.
And that becomes contagious.
And then if you're feeling like this angst and depression and fear and all types of emotions, getting yourself busy, getting involved, making yourself busy and doing things that's meaningful, not only to you, to your future, that's going to impact other people's lives, could really change a person.
Right. That can be volunteer work.
Yeah.
You know,
I need to go to the school and learn how Katrina did her makeup. That's what I need to do.
It's the Katrina School of
Cosmetology.
She learned how to do her makeup.
There you go. I know, right?
I did makeup for a couple. I did makeup for years. I don't know if you remember this, Les. I did makeup for years before I had my daughter. But I said, nope, I hung it up. But see, it's just a hobby now. But I used to do it, and I look back now. I said, what was I thinking? But I did it, and I just something I enjoyed. But it was also, I just stepped out and said, okay, you know, working this little makeup store. The next day I know, I started actually being one of the color artists at the mall, and all places.
As long as I've known you, I've never heard that.
Really?
I'm coming to her class.
So when Dee get ready for the wedding,
I worked at Sephora.
See, I knew it. I knew it.
I knew you before. See,
I knew that. She ain't say me. She ain't telling me. I knew it. I could tell.
Dee, all I'm saying is when it's time for your wedding, we got your Katrina. Right?
There we go.
We're networking right here.
You just got your gig.
Connections.
See? Connections. At Sephora, right?
I'll go back to it just for y'all though.
Thank you, Lord, for the prophetic. Thank you.
Right. You're just talking about do we have any more questions coming in? Bring them in. Okay, so we're gonna wrap it up. If that's all the questions, we're gonna wrap up tonight. So we're gonna deal with our 2-minute takeaway and 2-minute encouragement for our audience. I would say my takeaway was, and encourage people, I would use what Katrina said: access. Value your access. That's how you can network and build relationships without people feeling like you're using them. Value your access, value who you are, and change your mindset, change your way of thinking so that when you get through the door, that you don't drop the ball. Wow. Barb, take it away.
And I just want to kind of piggyback off of that and say that I'm still going to go with opportunity, because networking to me is not only the opportunity to build your professional networks and bridges, but also your social well-being, right?
I like that.
That's good. I like that.
You make it so warm and fuzzy, Barb. I just want to network. Oh my goodness.
I do love
it. There's so much joy in your face.
Because I love it. I do. I have so
I love it. My quick takeaway: whatever you want to achieve, grow through it.
Amen. That's good.
Don't shy away, grow through it. These connections are not just momentary. They could follow you for a lifetime in a good way. So just be mindful of those connections and know that, a connection is also an ordered step by the Lord. So take that in your heart and run on.
I got it. I caught it.
Absolutely.
One of our viewers said, "What about the men?"
I like that. Minister Bridget said that. Now, I think with men, I think it's easier for them to network because of their involvement. Men are involved in
Oh,
that was her
That
husband.
was Otis. Please disregard that comment.
Men have sports and things like that they're involved in, and I think they have a camaraderie that sometimes women don't have. I mean, you all correct me if I'm wrong, but that's just my lens and my purview.
That sounds like another chat. That sounds like another new topic about to come up.
It depends on the platform.
We have to get Otis one.
They say, yeah, Otis.
So my wrap up is push past the fear of rejection and just let your gifts make room for you.
Yes.
Seek out opportunities to let other people mentor you and then give back to them in the process.
Yes.
Truly, and let God lead the path. Really.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Okay.
Y'all
so smart. I love it. I'm in a good
space. Good connection.
Thank you. We thank you.
I'm connected.
For tuning in. This was a valuable topic, and you can still comment if you catch the recap. Please feel free to comment. We do go back and we check the comments and we give our input. We are not professionals, but we just a couple of women that just Jesus lovers, and we love people, and that's our MO. But we thank you for tuning in on this evening. Our topic for next month is mental health. The stigma of mental health. Why don't we want to go to a therapist? What is the problem with going to a therapist? Why do we always feel like we have to handle these things on our own when God has anointed people in this area, in this profession?
It's true.
But yet many of us don't take advantage of it. Why is that stigma still there? Why do we still use a certain language when it comes to mental health? So that'll be next time. Barb, you want to say something?
No, I was bubbling off of you.
Okay.
I'm good.
So we're looking forward to going forward. The chat, everyday conversations on real life issues. Tune in next month, the third Tuesday in April. We'll be moving right along right after Holy Week. See you then, and God bless. We love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.